Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back for another lesson of biology. Today we are going through lesson 28 about the growth curve of chapter 14. Before you start watching the video, remember to like and subscribe the channel and also share the video to your classmates. Let's start. For the different stage of growth, it can be illustrated by a growth curve. For the annual plants, we call them 一年生植物. They can only live for one growing season, and after the growing season, they will die. We call this limited growth. Examples such as the rice plants or the mung bean we keep using as an example in this chapter, 綠豆啦. The diagram shows you a growth curve of an annual plant. It shows you how the dry mass of the annual plant changes when it is a seed, and then later on grow out to become a plant, and then at the very last stage of the life, how it decreases the dry mass again. And the shape is very special. It has a S-shaped curve. Let's take a look why it is S-shaped. Why will it first decrease, later on increase, and at the end decrease again? The dry mass of the annual plant starts to decrease at the early beginning stage. Why? Because this stage, it is actually a period of seed germination, 發芽. And during this seed germination period, the stored food or stored starch inside the seed, they are being broken down and hydrolyzed to become maltose for different functions. So let's write down the answer, why the dry mass decrease. Dry mass decrease because there are enzymes, amylase, hydrolyze, in Chinese 水解啊. Hydrolyzed starch, the stored starch, to maltose 麥芽糖, which is used for forming new cells and to release energy by respiration for growth. So this is the reason why at the beginning, the dry mass of the plant starts to decrease first. After the seed germination period, why would the dry mass of the plant increase a lot? The dry mass of the plant increase because the seedling has developed green leaves. With the help of green leaves, the seedling they can now carry out photosynthesis. For plants, they can not only carry out photosynthesis, they can also carry out respiration. Let's compare the rates of photosynthesis and respiration. If a plant is growing healthily, the photosynthesis rate should be a lot higher than that of the respiration. And photosynthesis means food production. So the food production is a lot greater than the food consumption. So overall, there is actually a net food production. And therefore, the food stored inside the plant dry mass increase. For the ending stage of the growth of an annual plant, we can see the dry mass actually drops because there is dispersal of fruit or seed. So therefore, the plants start to decrease in the dry mass. Please go to your textbook page 23 to do the MCQ over there. The growth curve below shows you the change of human height throughout the whole lives. I would like you to focus on the adolescent stages. It is having some rapid growth. That means it is having the rate of cell division a lot greater than the rate of cell death. Therefore, you have a lot of new cells formed, then dying, you have the increase in the height, increase in the cell number. When a person reaches the adulthood, when you become an adult, the height of a person remains steady, does not change too much, because the cell division still occurs to replace the damaged cells. That means when you compare the rate of cell division and rate of cell death, now the rate of cell division is now equal to the rate of cell death. More or less the same, so your height remains steady. When a person reaches the old stages, you will see the height of a person started to drop. We are showing in here a negative growth, a decrease in the height, because now compare the rate of cell division and rate of cell death. You can write the rate of cell division now is actually smaller or slower than the rate of cell death. The cell death now is faster than making new cells. There are more cells dying than forming new cells. Of course, the cell number in your body started to decrease. You might having a negative growth, decrease in the height. The growth rate of different sex, different gender might be slightly different as well. They shows for boys and girls different rates of growth during the adolescent stages, during their teenage life. Let's take a look. The female, they tend to have an earlier increase of height than the boys. Do you know why? Give you 3 seconds to think. This is because the female, they reaches their puberty earlier. Alright, let's write down together. Females enter puberty, 青春期, earlier than boys, than males. So this is the reason. Since they enter puberty, 青春期, earlier, so they start to have a sudden growth earlier as well. Growth rate of different body parts might be different as well. In the middle of this curve, it shows you the whole body growth curve. It is going up in general. That means growing bigger when you get old. However, different organs shows different growth rates, such as the curve in red. This red curve only shows an increase in the size at around 12 or 13 years old. So what is this organ? This is actually the sex organ. And at around ages 12 or 13, this is actually the puberty. So your sex organs start to mature and start to be more functional at around puberty. That's why it starts to grow bigger in size at around puberty, the age 12 or 13. And then on the top, you have another organ which grows a lot faster at the beginning of the life stages and then does not change much at the later stage of life. What is it? It is actually the brain. You need to have a well-functioned, developed brain at the very beginning of your growth stages, so you can prepare for the challenge of the outside world. You must develop the brain first. That's why it grows a lot faster at the beginning of the life stages. Let's take a look at a baby and an adult to compare the growth of different body parts. For the growth of baby, it has a very rapid growth of head at the early stages. But the relative size of the head decreases with age, like this. The head, the relative size becomes smaller and smaller with age. The growth of the limb is relatively slow at the early stages, but the relative size of the arms start to increase with age. The trunk, that means the body, grows at a rate proportional to that of the whole body. And the relative size of the body remains nearly the same throughout the life stages. After knowing about the human body growth, we can conclude that different body parts have different growth rate. But in their mother nature, is there any other exceptions? Any organisms, they don't have any differences on the growth rate on all their body parts. Can you think of any exceptions? Here comes an exception. For fish, their body parts, they are always growing in the same rate. Like this, on proportion. So therefore, all their body parts, they have the same growth rate. That's it for this lesson about the growth curve, and also this is the end for chapter 14. I hope you liked the video. I will see you in the next lesson about the worksheets. See you. Bye bye.